Hello beauties, it's Brittany and welcome back to my channel today. I want to ramble with you while I do my makeup. Obviously, since I haven't been filming, haven't done one of these in a very long time, and I just need to put some makeup on my face and I want to talk to you. And I've been doing my makeup in a pretty different way, I would say, than I have in the past. But of course, I am going to start with priming my eyelids. I'm using the NARS Pro Primer, and I have a new setup here, so I'm definitely going to be struggling with where to look and where to look at my mirror, because my mirror's over here, the monitor's over here, the camera's over here. Lots of confusion for all of us involved, I'm sure. So since getting into makeup, I've been pretty avid with the primer situation, but I'm becoming more and more skeptical with it. But I am going to go in today with my e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer and use this in my T-zone because that's where my pores love to join the party, even though nobody invited them. It's funny that we all hate our pores so much, it seems, because pores are so important for the skin. And with makeup, all we want to do is fill in our pores, and it's just a funny concept to me. So I have been doing my makeup in an order that might seem a little weird, but I like to go in with the primers first, and then I will do my brows. And I'm doing that because I want the primers to have time to sink into the skin before I go right on top with foundation, because I feel like if I do that, it gives the primer an opportunity to not move around so much once I put my foundation on. Really need to get my hair out of my face. I have no idea how people do their makeup with their hair in their face. Like, I just can't. It irritates me to no end. I want it out of my face so bad. And like, even this isn't enough. Like, I want basically a shaved head while I do my makeup. So I have been using the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil in the shade 2.75. I'm continuously on the hunt for a good eyebrow pencil for natural redheads. This is my natural hair. Might look a little bit different in person because cameras lie and saturations lie, but I am definitely a natural redhead, as my complexion might imply. I am on the hunt for the perfect brow shade, and I have yet to find it. I don't know if it actually exists in the world or if we have to create something, but this one is doing what I needed to do right now. It's hilarious. I was going back and watching old vlogs so that I could set some of them to private because, oh my god, embarrassing. And I did not fill in my eyebrows previously. Like, before 2000, oh gosh, 12, maybe even later, I fully believed I did not need to fill in my eyebrows. I was like, girl, they thick enough, but they're invisible. And yeah, so pretty funny to go back and watch that. I would do like a full makeup tutorial, full look, and then it would be like, where her brows at? They didn't receive an invitation. And it's still a struggle for me to this day. This brow is so much more cooperative than this brow. This one is like sparse, doesn't go in far enough. It's just like the drunk friend that you can't seem to get in the car to go home. I am going to carve out the brow ever so slightly. I find when I do this, my brows actually look good, look better. Let's not say good. I don't know if I'm ever gonna get them to good, but they definitely look better. And I think it's because the spoolie that I use is attached to the brow pencil, and it kind of smudges color where I don't really want it. And then the rest of the skin looks like tinted, more pink red than I want. And I naturally have so much of that pinky red hues to my face that I want to run from them. I want to run really far and really fast. Do I do this precisely? No. Should I do it more precisely? Probably. But honestly, I don't have time for that. I've been trying so many new skincare products recently because I'm actually trying to like use what I have in my stash of skincare. So my skin is freaking out, like literally breaking out every single day. I just don't know how to try new skincare without my face freaking out. And I want to try new skincare. Like, I'm always on the hunt because I want to recommend things to people and I want to know if what I'm doing is the best optimal thing I could be doing for my skin. So the struggle is but real. Oh, I didn't say what I was using to carve out the crease. I'm using the JEFFREE Star Concealer in the shade C4. Okay, I brought you in a little closer because we're going to do some eye stuff in a second, but I do a little more skin prep first. I absolutely love this Flesh product. It is their Fleshpot Eye and Cheek Gloss. I did not know you could use this on the eye. Might have to do that today. Sorry, I'm getting used to having a monitor. By monitor, I just mean my camera hooked up to my laptop. That's my monitor. And what was I saying? I'm obsessed with this. It's kind of an interesting idea, concept, consistency, all of the above. It has slight kind of unicorn essence to it. I wouldn't call it holographic necessarily. We might have to consult Simply Nailogical, but I would consider this more on that unicorn horn range. What am I talking about? I'm acting as if I know what I'm talking about, but it's kind of like a jelly consistency. It has amazing reflex to it, and it just gives your skin a very, very natural highlighted appearance. I take the smallest tiny little bit on my beauty sponge and I take it kind of messily most days on the high points of my face, up onto my temple, like right on top of my brow as well, and onto the cheek. I even bring it like kind of into the eye area, which I probably shouldn't do because I've got wrinkles there and probably exaggerates them, but okay, so let's see. Will it show up on camera? Yes. Do you see that? And also, do you see my universe? Hello. And then this side I don't have any on. And like, I could still see a slight dew on the cheeks, but nothing like this. So same thing on the other side, just took a little bit on the tip of the sponge, and then I'm kind of meshing it into the skin. Coffee is so good. So I am gonna go in with cream contour, and typically I would do that now, but to be honest, I look absolutely insane when I have this on my face and I go onto my eyes, and I wanna spare you that. If you follow me on Instagram, you know I've been obsessed with the ColourPop Kathleen Light's So Jaded palette. It's lovely, and I've been wearing it like every single day of my life. I brought it with me on our vacation, and I'm sure you've seen it. This is what it looks like. I've been obsessed with wearing it like every single day of my life until I get the Tati palette and the Shane Dawson Jeffree Star palette. This is what I've been using, and I can create so many freaking amazing looks with this palette. Let's see what we can do today. To be honest, I've actually been watching a lot of tutorials on this palette to get some inspiration and follow those, but today, let's just follow our hearts. So I think I'm gonna start with Your Gem, which is this guy right here. I did a look in the look I was wearing in my first video back, and my Europe haul was blue and then yellow on the inner corner, and I was obsessed. And I'm just gonna kind of messily pop this all over the lid. Might be fun to add a little bit of citrine, which is that kind of yellowy color in the crease, and I am gonna use that same brush. Ooh, it kind of looks like a sunset. Okay, I kind of like that. Okay guys, I'm really hoping I'm in focus. I'm trying a bunch of new stuff so that my videos are somewhat comparable to these millionaires who can make videos. I don't have the money to buy a new camera, so I've been using the same camera since 2011, and I'm not buying another one. So let's continue. What do we want to go in with next? What should we use on the outer corner? Maybe mixing these two together. These two together. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because I don't think I've used Stoned all that much. I love mixing together colors in a palette. Like, it's nice to use the initial shades that obviously that are in there, but my favorite thing is to like swirl and mix mix products together like an artist. Sometimes it comes out looking like crap, other times it comes out looking really pretty. Yet to be determined if today is the former or the latter. Swirl, 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 swirl. I've also been doing this thing where I kind of pull shadows out versus pulling them in, because I go in and clean up this outer portion at the before I do my foundation. And because I'm doing my eyes first, even if I didn't clean it up, the foundation would kind of clean it up. And that way I'm not left with like too much darkness in the eye, but it's on the outside and I can clean that up. Does anyone else hate doing their non-dominant eye? Like, my right eye is always the best eye, which is probably also why this is the best brow. When I have to like reach my arm over to get to the other eye, it's really obnoxious. And I guess I could try to train myself to use my left hand, but oh my god, that seems really difficult. I'm doing it though. Do you see? I'm doing it. Ugh! I can't believe what's actually happening. Okay. I feel like I really have to focus though. I like mixing these two colors together because it adds like the warmth of jasper and the coolness of stoned. I can't believe I'm actually blending with my left hand. Nope, not working. Have to think too hard. You really have to trust the process though if you are gonna kind of sweep the color outward, because it's gonna look like absolute trash at first. But always have some little baby wipes nearby and don't fret. Okay, what color are we going to do on the lid today? This is my favorite part of this palette, is picking the lid color. Oh, I have this kind of like royal blue color going on with my earrings. So can we pull off of that? What does this one look like? Oh, that's very purple. Don't want purple. Maybe I mix together, ooh, I have it. I've got it, guys. We're gonna mix together Aquarian and Pearl, which is this color and this color here. Aquamarine. Aquarium. Wow. I'm gonna take a very tiny concealer-like brush that's very flat and doesn't have a whole lot of movement to it. Where's my Fix Plus? I need my Fix Plus. Where'd you go? I completely forgot that I picked up some Scott Barnes brushes. This is the 62 brush, so I have to use it today. I'm gonna go in with the matte white in the So Jaded palette and just start to blend this out before I go in with the shimmer shades. Oh my god, this brush, so soft. Literally so soft, and it is as easy to work with as everybody says it is. Also picked up the 63, which is a very different style brush than anything in my collection. I do really like that. It's definitely a learning curve with that one. I have to figure out like the best way for me to work with it, but I picked up a face brush that I will show you when we get onto the face. I'm kind of second guessing my choice for the lid color because everything is so warm on the lid right now. Like we have that really warm orange, then the yellow. I'm gonna chance it. I'm a risk taker. Okay, this is coming out kind of like a gold, or not a gold, a silver. Maybe I need a little bit more of the blue. Huh. Yeah, okay, okay. Okay, everyone hold still. Nobody make any sudden movements. Oh my god, it's beautiful. I love it. I love it. I feel like a mermaid, which is kind of what I feel like I was put on this earth to be. Do we love it? I love it. I'm like legitimately holding my breath when I put it on. I'm not sure why. And I don't really know what the face is that I'm making. Adding a little bit more blue to the top. Oh my god. I'm obsessed. I love it. I love it. Okay, but we do have to blend these things together a little more. So, what do we want to marry the colors together with? Let's use rose quartz. Sorry guys, I'm really trying to stay in focus. I really am. Don't like that. That looks muddy. Pause. Well, we have to repeat the same thing. We have to repeat our errors on the other side. I'm sorry to break it to you. Oh God. Oh goodness gracious. I'm making a mess. Okay. This is when I start to get discouraged and I need to do a little cleanup, okay? Just a mid-roll cleanup. Just to help with the anxiety. Don't be fooled into believing that I don't also panic when I'm doing a different type of look. Like, it's scary when everything just starts to look like mud on your face. But just pause, clean up what you can, maybe blend for a minute, evaluate the situation. And I think what we need is like a warmer color right there. I'm gonna go with some Sunstone. I don't have my contacts in yet because I put them in after mascara. Okay, yeah, so what I saw was we needed to warm up that transition between the shimmer and the matte. I'm gonna add shimmer, but first I'm gonna add my very small L'Oreal Infallible black liner to my tight line. I'm gonna definitely have to add a glitter diamond. I'm gonna add a little bit of diamond, which is that pressed Super Shock Shadow. Do we love it? Do we hate it? I swear, if this whole thing is out of focus, I'm gonna lose my mind. I think it'll look pretty once we have some stuff on the face. I've brought you back out and I'm going to start to contour the face, and I've been using the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand Easy Contour, and this is in the shade Fair Medium. Now this is a very interesting product because it has this little spongy guy, and you squeeze it and then a bunch of product comes out, and I just kind of dot it on the skin. Sometimes I go a little crazy, sometimes I'm a little more tame with it. Just depends how I'm feeling. And now you see, I look insane. And I'm gonna take a brush. What brush do I want to take? I'm gonna take this Velour Luxe LBD foundation brush, and I'm just gonna buff it towards my hairline. And Scott Barnes all told us you don't distort your face when you put your bronzer on. So I'm gonna try to stay, like, instead of tightening my face and like moving my jawline up, I'm just gonna stay just as I would normally. Are you guys also obsessed with seeing Scott Barnes on Tati's channel? I love him. I feel like he's taught me so much. Sometimes I'll blend this out with the sponge, other times a brush. It just depends on like how my skin is feeling that day. Oh, and I was going to I picked this up while I was in Spain. It's the Embryolisse. I butchered that. But my under eyes, I'm sure, are a little bit dry from removing the makeup with the wipe. So I'm just gonna dot tiniest amount under the eyes to rehydrate the skin, because I have kind of dry skin. It's been very temperamental lately. I think it's because I'm learning more about skin, and so I've been trying a lot of different things, which is helping to like rebalance that dryness, but it's been dry for so long that my skin is kind of confused. So I actually look a lot more normal on camera than it does in person. In person, you could definitely see that I have like that strong contour going on. I have been loving this BB cream. This, I actually was watching, oh my gosh, I can't remember her name, another YouTuber. I'll have the video linked down below, but she tried your guys' favorites, and a lot of you recommended this Perfect Cover BB cream with SPF 42 PA++ to her, and she tried it, and I saw that it was only $10 on Amazon, and I too wanted to try it, because if all of you love it, then it's got to be good. And I love it. It's amazing. It reminds me a lot of that Super BB in like the circular tube, I'll try to insert a picture here, that I used for a really long time. This is so similar, but I think I like this better. This is a little more on the hydrating side, but not like greasy. So I use the cap that it comes with, and I pump like 2 pumps onto the back. And this is a great product because on days when I'm like in a super rush, like I just need to get out the door to go to work, you can apply this with your fingers, just massaging it into the skin with your hands. The tools that you were born with. But on a day-to-day basis, when I like have time to do my makeup, I don't really like to use my hands for a lot because I just feel like my hands end up feeling dirty. Like, does anyone else? Like, I'm totally for using your own hands to apply product, but oftentimes I find that my hands feel like slimy. I can't be alone. I'm gonna use my Artis brush and bring it down quite far into the neck. This definitely feels, it almost feels like skincare when you're putting it onto the skin. Like, it feels so light and so moisturizing. It's definitely not full coverage, but on a day-to-day basis, I don't really want full coverage. I want to put something light and nice all over the skin and then spot conceal. Okay. So after I've put that on with the brush, I go over with the Beauty Blender and just kind of pat it in. This helps to kind of soak up any excess product. I'm looking so white. Not like, oh, she white, but I'm like, oh, can I see her? I cannot stand when there is foundation on my lips. So I take a Q-tip and just buff that away and then chapstick it up. Good old Burt's Bees. I'm gonna try something today for the first time and we'll see how it works. So Tati just uploaded a video where she was kind of talking about like doing your makeup minimalistically but still having like a lot of steps, and she mentioned, which is something that I'm aware of but like day to day I'm not doing, and it's making sure that the concealer you're using on spots to conceal blemishes matches your foundation exactly, because you don't want to highlight the things that you're trying to conceal. So I have the C2 Revolution Conceal and Hydrate. I like this concealer. I actually am going to be trying a new technique from another artist. I'll talk about it in a later video. That's vague. But today, for this, to conceal all these amazing blemishes on my face, I'm going to take the remainder of the BB cream that I have on this little makeshift palette, and I'm going to take a scoop of this concealer on the back so we can see that they don't match exactly. And how am I going to do this? I think I'm going to take a brush. She used, what kind of brush did she use? She kind of used a brush like this, like a blendy brush. And I'm just gonna blend those two products together. And I have some product on the back of the brush, and I'm just gonna dot it over a few areas. And by a few areas, I apparently mean the entire left side of my face. Around my nose. Like I said, this foundation, or this BB cream, is very light coverage, so you are gonna need to conceal if you want a more full effect. This is a wet beauty blender. I go back and forth with my love for beauty blenders. Sometimes I hate them and I feel like they just pick up everything from my face, and other times they work. All right, I'm gonna do the same thing for the under eyes. I'm gonna do like a dot more of the BB cream, and I'm gonna take my Jeffree Star concealer that's too light, and I'm gonna kind of put some on the back of this palette and see what happens under the eyes. I do kind of like hold my mirror up when I blend my concealer out so that my eyes are looking up, and also my eyelid underneath is as smooth as it can be, because when you're looking straight on, you have, well, I don't know if you do, but I have like little creases under the eye, and so when I kind of straighten it out, it allows the concealer to kind of mesh everywhere, and then I will kind of bring the mirror down and look straight on and blend it that way as well, because your eye moves throughout the day, so it's nice to have it blended so that no matter where your eyes are looking, the concealer looks blended. So I did try to cover it a little bit more, and I'm gonna stop. My hair covers this side of my face, and to be honest, I just can't be bothered to keep adding more product right now. I have been using the Jeffree Star Translucent Setting Powder to set my under eye area as well as other parts of my face. I love, one, the scent. I also love the fact that the actual lid is covered and there's like an open closed section. So you can open it to your preferred mount and then tap it off on the lid if that's how you like to apply your powders. And then you can just close it up and nothing's going to fly out of there. So I have been using my sponge for this, and I will make sure that my under eye area is padded out. And then I've been pressing the powder onto the skin like so. Make crazy faces. I bring it up on this whole area here because I do have lines forming by my eyes, and I want the concealer to not settle in those spots. And then I'll pat out my forehead because I got lines there as well. I'm a human. I have creases and texture. I am not an alien sent down to this planet with porcelain skin. Okay, and then I will pat it out. And I'm not going to go heavy with the powder everywhere. I just really want to set areas that I know in particular things settle for me, or things get a little more on the oily side for me. So I don't really let that sit for any particular length of time. I will then go in with my bronzer, and I'll leave this on as just kind of like a guide for where I don't really want my bronzer to be. And then here comes my beloved Scott Barnes 65 brush, and look at her. Look at her. She does stain, and I have not been able to get the bronzer color out, but such is life. This brush holds on to a lot of product, so I'll even kind of, I have a towel that I leave out in front of me. I will pat the excess powder onto that, and then I'm going to stamp. Other people might be able to magnificently swipe it on their skin. I have a blemish here. I have this honker here, and if I swoosh, then I'm just going to remove all of the work that I did to conceal all of that stuff. So I'm going to find my cheekbone, go underneath. Woo! Something else Scott Barnes taught us. And then forehead area. Apparently I make fish faces while I do it. And then, again, jawline, but I'm not going to move or distort my face. I'm going to keep my skin just as it is when I'm resting. Did you just hear Pepper groan so loud? Because I did. It's so natural for me to want to like move my jaw, but it makes complete sense to me why you would just leave it as is. See, I want to keep doing it, so I'm just kind of like pressing up. And another reason why I don't dust away the powder before I do that is because I then like to use the powder and kind of like blend, like, you know, using, instead of dusting it away, bronzing, and then adding more powder, I just leave the powder there, and then as I'm sweeping it away, I can then use that powder that's already on my skin to help blend products away. Not away, but like blend it into the skin, you know? Dear Lord, I feel like I've been doing my makeup for 1,000 hours. It's funny because when I would film consistently in the past, this felt natural to like spend this much time on my makeup, and I am talking to you, so it does take longer, but day to day I am not spending this much time on my face. I'm trying to use up this butter bronzer from Physicians Formula so that I can get rid of it instead of just hoarding it in my collection. So I'm going to use this as my all over warmth powder on my skin. And I feel like no matter how much bronzer I'm putting on, I'm still looking very white in the camera. And I like to take, when I take my bronzer, I'll like run it over my whole cheek area because I don't want just warmth on the outside of my face. Like, I feel like that looks a lot more unnatural than if you kind of like bring it in a little bit as well. And I feel like on camera this is looking super harsh. Well, we'll put my hair down and see what happens. My jaw is looking like, from the front, from the contouring I did, it definitely looks a lot more pronounced. And I have a very tiny nose, so I don't feel like I need to contour my nose that much. For blush, I have been using a combination of the ColourPop Kathleen Lights blushes right here, Main Chick, and so Retrograde. So I'm just gonna boop, 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 boop. I guess I mix a lot. Like, I don't often just use one color. Like, I'll mix a lot of my products, eyes and face. I bring my blush up kind of high onto my temple. I feel like that just looks most natural for me. And as weird as it looks, I bring my whole face down and like blend my blush this way. I don't know what I feel like it helps with, but I feel like it helps with something. I am the weirdest person. And then I'll just, won't put any extra powder on the brush, and I'll just kind of stamp the actual cheek. And then I go a little on the nose, the temples. I'm going to highlight. I'm going to use the Ofra highlighter in the shade Rodeo Drive, and it's stunning. I just realized I haven't done anything on my lower lashes yet. I would have typically done that when I had the powder on. I forgot. That's another thing. I leave that powder on so that when I do shadow on the lower lash line, I can dust away any fallout and it doesn't look like dark under there. I've actually kind of been liking taking this bronzer, and I think it's just because I'm trying to use it up, and I will run it on the lower lash line as that first color, and I feel like it helps tie the tones of the face together. I went ahead and did some of the other colors that I had on the upper lid. I did those on the lower lash line. And something that I like to do is I will take the blushes that I used, whatever colors I used that day. So I'm going to go back into this palette here, and a very tiny kind of crease brush, I will mix those two colors together. If I use two, very lightly take this into the crease of the eye. And I feel like it helps tie the whole face together. So instead of looking like, oh, we did the eyes and then we did something completely different on the face, this ties together the face and the eyes. Having just the same, that a little moment of monochromaticness. And you can take that bronzer again on the pencil brush after you've blended all the colors from the upper lid, and just use that to kind of like smoke it out, contour it out. Then I will take my sponge and pat everything together. You can use a brush for this if you prefer. I go back and forth. Sometimes I use a brush, sometimes I use my sponge, and I'll go on the side that had powder on it and press that even further in the areas that get creasy. I'm going to use two mascaras today. The Collab Love Your Curves Extreme Mascara and the Benefit They're Real. I use this one on the top lashes, and then They're Real on the top and bottom. This is like the only mascara I found that doesn't smudge on my lower lash line. If you have any other recommendations, please let me know. Before I do that though, I need to set the skin, and I'm going to use the Urban Decay All Nighter. Turn on my little handy fan. And I can even go in with the sponge at this point where my skin is slightly damp and just kind of press everything. First, starting with the Collab mascara. The wand on this guy is huge. Huge. I like the separation this one gives me, but I feel like it makes my lashes look short. Like, I want length, separation, fullness. I want all of it. So I always kind of find I need to layer something else up with this mascara. Sometimes so much gets off on the wand. You have to clean the wand off so much. what have I done? I put my contacts in. I always put my contacts in right before I do lower lash mascara. If I remember, sometimes I do it after. And then there is wet mascara under my eyes. So I always try to do it before I do lower lash mascara. But I took my hair down and now we are ready to move on to the lips. And I have no idea what I want to do with the lips today. Let's evaluate the face. So something peachy. Of course, I want to use these two until the end of time. The Shane Dawson Jeffree Star collaboration lip gloss, or liquid lips, velour lips. What are these called? Doesn't really specify. Of course, I want to use those until the end of time, but they don't match with every look and they are very, very loud. So maybe I go with an old favorite. ColourPop Lumiere. Do you guys remember? I used to wear this all the time and I love it. I really do. It's so beautiful, but do we feel like it's too cool? About this Spiced Petal. These are also mauve. Let's consult the stash. That just confirmed for me that I have way too many like berry and mauve lip colors. I'm gonna go with my Tarte lipstick in Daiquiri. And typically I line the lips, but let's just see what happens today when I don't. Should have lined them. It's not too late to save this. I'm gonna go in with MAC's. I feel like this look is way too summery for how cold it is outside, but I don't care. I love it. I'm going to use the Dose of Color lip gloss in The Most, and I love this gloss. Hate that it has a clear applicator, but I feel like with a gloss like this that's so duochrome, maybe you're just supposed to use it on your natural lips, but oh yes. Do you see that? And then I always wipe off the applicator before I put it back in if I had like a darker lip on, so that it's mostly cleaned off when it goes in there. I need to highlight my inner corner. I'm going to take my Ofra highlighter that I used on my face, again creating more cohesion between the face and the eyes. And I'm going to highlight my inner corner. It's like my favorite part of my routine is having a really bright inner corner that lifts the eye, brightens the eye. Doesn't last all day, but I don't care. To me, that just changes the entire look. I love it so much. I've always loved a very, very bright inner corner. Like MAC Nylon was my jam a really long time ago. You guys remember if you've been following me for a long time. And then at this point, I sometimes, if I have time, like to go in and blend a little bit more the eyes just to make sure. And that is the completed look. I hope you guys enjoy. Again, it feels a little more on the summery side to me, but I don't care. I don't think that you should follow specific seasonal rules or rules in general when it comes to your makeup. Do what you love and do what feels fun and interesting and intriguing on the skin. Like, just go for it. And don't be stressed out if things start to look weird or wonky, because it's just makeup and you can take it off and you can start over and you can clean things up and you can add color where you didn't feel like you could add color, and it's just, I love it so much. It's such a fun expression. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed hearing me ramble and go about my makeup routine today. If you are interested in any of the products used, they will be listed in the description bar below, as well as the two YouTubers that I kind of mentioned vaguely and can't remember their specific names right now. I will have those listed in the information bar as well. And if you have any video requests, let me know in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. I will see you all next time. Bye!